I always find the roads argument interesting because Ben does have a point that it's rather a minuscule aspect, especially when you talk to people like Bernie Sanders who want to nationalize healthcare and dramatically increase spending, and then when you push back, they say, "What, you against taxes? You don't think we should have roads, huh? Is it well roads? I think the federal government spends like $70 billion on transportation, which includes roads, airports, and other infrastructure that aren't technically roads. But from what I know, roads are mostly funded through fuel consumption taxes. Meaning that the people who drive on the roads more, you often hear people say, oh, well, Jeff Bezos and Walmart and all these greedy corporations, they wouldn't be able to move their products without the roads. So, they wouldn't be able to exist if it weren't for, government spending and taxes and whatnot. Well, yeah, they're paying for the upkeep of the roads. The more Walmart trucks and Amazon trucks are on the road buying gas and driving on the roads, the more they are paying for the roads. So it's not like the roads are being paid for out of income taxes or your property taxes. No, it's a more fair way of funding the roads is by fuel consumption taxes. Because if you're going to drive on the roads more, you're going to need to buy more gas, and you're going to pay more in gas taxes to keep funding road upkeep.
If that's the case, then why doesn't Amazon exist in Estonia or Latvia? They have roads there too. It turns out roads are pretty common and have been common since the Roman era. So, what are you talking about? But the same people.
I believe Rucka Ali told me that he read a book about Benjamin Franklin, and apparently Benjamin Franklin managed to organize private roads prior to the American Revolution. So I guess it was even possible, over a century before the automobile.
Who will say that Jeff Bezos didn't build that? Will proclaim that we want the whole pie. Well, you didn't build that, Cynthia Nixon. You didn't build any of that. What right do you have to demand something that you didn't build? This is why when people say that socialism is about altruism, it's not. It's about greed. It's about you didn't build.
It is about altruism, though.
That, and now you want a piece of something that you didn't build because you are breathing and you are here. Well, guess what? That is not altruistic. That is just you being selfish. Socialism is inherently selfish. Because
you hear that? Socialism is inherently selfish. So, by what standard are socialists selfish? Is socialism ultimately good for anybody? And the reason why I beat up Ben on this is because he's smarter from what I've seen. He knows what socialism requires and entails. He knows the destructive nature of socialism and he's able to draw he's able to logically conclude that when force becomes the standard that you're going to get bloodshed and misery and a lack of innovation and all that crap. Yet he also says that it's in your self-interest to advocate for such a system. Again, does anyone benefit by living in a society where your life and your values are subordinated to the whims of the collective, where force becomes the criterion of human conduct and interaction, where you need political pull to survive? Yeah, even the rulers of socialist countries, even the Kim Jong-uns of the world, like, would anyone in their right mind want to trade lives with Kim Jong-un and have the impossible task of managing an economy for millions of people, constantly dealing with the fact that you oversee a country that's known for famine and failure and misery, where you have to resort to purging in order to maintain your power over the people? Meanwhile, you don't get to enjoy, nicer things in life. Like, Kim Jong-un's never going to be able to enjoy a nice day at Disneyland, or enjoy a nice day at the water park, or have a nice fun weekend in Vegas, or go out to a concert with his buddies. He can't. He's not going to be able to order Postmates and have thousands of different options to choose from on his phone. And to the extent that he has any semblance of modern technology, it's probably imported and smuggled in by people. So, yeah, what would you rather be? Would you rather be poor in a capitalist free society, even a mixed economy like today's America, where you do have, where you can pursue values and happiness, even if you're being shackled here and there by government and taxes and whatnot? Or would you rather be the ruler of a hellhole like North Korea?
It demands. That's the whole point. You never hear the socialists talk about us giving. It's always what we demand. It's always what we want.
Any person who honestly is seeking self-esteem knows that it can't come from a sleazy politician.
It's like my 3-year-old when he desperately wants another popsicle. Right? It's all about what you want. It's never about what you're willing to give. It's so funny. All the people.
Yeah, the abolition of private property is the exact same of when Ben Shapiro's kid asks for a popsicle.
Who are capitalists tend to talk about the sacrifices that you make in order to engage in transactions. They tend to talk about the amount of work they do. When was the last time you heard about a socialist talk?
So Jordan Peterson makes this error too. He conflates sacrifice with work. But work is not sacrifice. If you're working, you're presumably getting paid and you're doing it to meet an end. Of course, I'm sure there's other things you'd rather do with your time than work, but production, being productive, is a requirement for you to survive and sustain your own life.
About the amount of work they do, as opposed to what they demand for the work. Well, you can make a demand, but that demand should not be backed by a government gun. In any case, Bernie Sanders, he is now reversing himself on his medical records. On Sunday, Sanders reversed his position on medical records, saying he would not release...
Anyway, I brought this because also recently I made a tweet about this, about how Ben Shapiro, he's still going on about how capitalism is forced altruism. Socialism is forced altruism. Socialism is the state legislating that you have to sacrifice for the sake of other people, for your fellow man. Socialism is forced altruism, and if he honestly thinks, and this isn't the first time, like this isn't like a gaffe or a goof that Ben Shapiro made, thinking on the spot. I've heard him make this this claim numerous times that capitalism is forced altruism, and the more I thought about it, Ben Shapiro makes the same error that Kyle Kulinski makes when Kyle Kulinski, the lefty YouTuber, talks about private taxes when he talks about the need to buy health insurance. They conflate the metaphysical requirement of production to sustain life with force. Ben Shapiro calls it reality forced altruism, but reality doesn't force you to do anything. Right? Reality just is what it is. And yeah, there are, reality is dangerous. There are predators. There are weather events that can, like tornadoes and wildfires. There's gravity. You can fall to your death. There are a lot of hazards out there in reality, but reality is not a conscious entity. It can't force you to do anything, even in the way you be productive. Even if you go back to hunter-gatherer caveman days, yeah, you need to find food to survive, but reality doesn't force you to hunt. It doesn't force you to gather berries. It doesn't force you to study the plants and study the stars and study the seasons so you can figure out agriculture. No, reality doesn't force you to do anything. Reality just is what it is, and production is a metaphysical requirement for you to sustain life, and without it, you would die rather quickly. And but if forced altruism is what's good, Ben Shapiro, he's endorsing capitalism by saying, oh, it's forced altruism, so you got to be productive, and in a market economy, you got to produce values for other people, and you got to make their lives better. Well, yeah, no shit, but you're not producing for their end. You're producing for your own end. You're producing to make money to sustain your life. And that's what capitalism does de facto, is it creates a division of labor so people can be more focused and specialized and make things more efficient. But again, if forced altruism is the standard, if that's what's good, right, then the argument becomes over which political system forcefully forces people to sacrifice the most. And socialism, believe it or not, is more efficient at forcing people to sacrifice than capitalism is.